Families, friends, and teachers, on behalf of the graduating class of 2014, I would like to welcome you to our graduation ceremony. Class of 2014, we have finally made it. Through egg relays and Valentine's Day disasters, we survived. Thank goodness. Surprisingly, so have our teachers. Especially Ms. Weber for having to put up with all four of us. Our families have pushed us closer to the goal of graduation. My family is close to insanity from the trouble I've caused. But they have stuck by me through thick and thin. I would like to take a little extra time to thank Ms. Browder. She's been there for me since junior high and has never stopped encouraging me. I'd also like to thank Ms. Barbara Hughes for taking extra time out of her day to help me. Thank you also to my brother TJ for keeping it real and being honest with me. To Mrs. Holt for helping me write my speech because I'm a terrible speechwriter. Thank you to all the staff at Premier, Mrs. Murray, Mrs. Browder, Mrs. Dupriest, Mrs. Bamber, Mrs. Bradley. I'm saying how awesome you are like you told me to. Mr. McIntosh and Mrs. Weber. Mr. McIntosh helped me by taking extra time out of his busy schedule to help me finish my schoolwork. Mrs. Weber, thank you for keeping your eyes on me to make sure I stayed focused on the task at hand. I know I speak for the entire graduating class when I say we would not be here without all of the hard work put in by our teachers. I would also like to thank my house parents, Kevin and Becky Hand, for doing whatever necessary to motivate me, from taking away my electronics to giving me the gift of putting makeup on Kevin. I'd also like to thank my best friend Hope for supporting me and encouraging me to do my homework and for always making me laugh. She will forever be my smart one. I know I speak for all of us when I say thank you to the friends and family who stood by our side and cheered us on as we pushed towards graduation. Fellow graduates, thank you for supporting me. Daniel, thanks for pestering me about graduation and being such a good friend. As we walk across the stage today, each of us has unique experiences that the others may not share. But we also have many things that we have experienced together that bring us closer. I know that if we continue to support each other, we can do anything. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, and welcome once again to the Premier High School Dublin commencement ceremony of the class of 2014. It is with great honor to be here to share in this monumental occasion in our lives with you. Even though we may be one of the smallest graduating classes so far, we are big on gratitude to those who helped us to get to this point in our lives. I would like to express my appreciation to all of my teachers, friends, family members, as well as all those who have invested in me in Cottonwood Baptist Church. Let me start by telling you a little bit about myself. When I was in 7th grade, at the start of the second semester, my parents transferred me from the local Dublin school to Paradigm Accelerated Charter School, which is now Premier High School. I was scared and nervous at the same time because it was here that I entered the unknown and unfamiliar. At first, I did not want to go because I didn't know anyone there, but eventually other students I knew were coming to the school. I no longer was being bullied and picked on by the other students. Paradigm was a safe place for me to learn and grow. The day that I was placed into Miss Brower's class, she took me under her wing, as she does with anyone who comes into her classroom. She gave me hope and self-confidence. She made me feel good about myself, and I thank you, Ms. Browder, for investing in me. Another thing from school was that we were taught how to give back to our community in different ways. For instance, Mr. Kavanaugh took us on a service learning trip to the coast where we were able to serve the community as well as take in the sights. Mr. Derek Browder introduced us to the color guard, which allowed us to learn how to discipline ourselves by following commands. The color guard was able to perform for the Dr. Pepper celebration by marching, displaying the flags. Even though it didn't last long, we learned a lot from this program. Coach Moose spent time with the guys by training and teaching us how to play the sport of six-man football. Locally, I have been able to serve the community by helping with the Love Basket, with other classmates, as well as volunteer with kids across cultures bike ride. As the year moved on, we went from being in junior high to being a freshman, sophomore, junior, then finally senior. We were able to see the prospects of graduating, some of us sooner than others. We have made many friendships over the years as students came and left. We learned to encourage each other, to be respectful of each other, and serve each other. We began this year by looking at with the end in mind. We knew that we were very capable of completing what we begun when we were beginning to see the light at the end of the very long tunnel. Winston Churchill once said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." We have been fortunate to have caring teachers who showed us how to care for others, like Miss Browder, Mr. Priest, Miss Murray, Miss Bamber, Miss Bradley, Mr. McIntosh, and of course Miss Weber, my mom. Yes, my mom was my teacher this year. Talk about a tough teacher. For the past 18 and a half years, my mom taught me at home, and now in the past year in the classroom. Fellow classmates, as we take this scary yet needed step into adulthood, we realize that we are all going in different directions. Whether it is to college or employment, we know that we can complete what we started. Mother Teresa believed that in this life we cannot always do great things, but we can do small things with great love. I believe that we are entering a new phase in our lives where true happiness will only come to them when people pull away from their own ambitions and those of others to discover God's will for themselves. The Apostle Paul states in Romans 12:2, "Do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is." So in closing, my charge to you is what Miss Bradley would always say: make good choices as we walk out the door for the day, weekend, or vacation. Just remember, like Walt Disney once said, if you can dream it, you can do it. My mom believes that we can do anything as long as we put our minds to it. So let's put our minds to it and go out, find our place in this big world of ours. No matter what your dream is for the future, you can get there with dedication, determination, and focus that you have learned while here at Premier High School. Ms. Bradley, we are the class of 2014, are ready to begin our new journey. Congratulations to my fellow graduates.